Yo, what is going on, everybody? Shri Kanase here. So how to find winning interests with Facebook ads in 2020 and onwards. When it comes to Facebook ads, one of the most important things you can do in order to find any types of success with Facebook is to find the right interest, because it is true that the right product is needed in order to even get things going. But combining a good product with bad interest means that you will not be able to get sales and will not be able to make that product a winning product, even if it's really a winner. And combining a bad product with good interest will be the second case scenario, where you will find mediocre results, if any results at all. And in the end, you may just end up completely shutting down the ad sets and the campaigns because the product is not profitable. So it is super important that you follow some of my other tutorials that I have on my channel regarding product research in order to actually find the right products, because this video will teach you how to find the right interest. But without wasting any more time, let's just jump right into it and find out exactly what to do in order to find those winning interests. The first thing you'll have to do in order to find those winning interests is to destroy that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. It'll take just 2 quick seconds. Okay, hopefully you have done that. But the first step in order to find the winning interest does not even start on Facebook ads itself. Rather, it starts on a different website, and that website is none other than Google Trends. Here's step number 1. You want to basically use Google Trends and research the main keyword which is most closely related to the product that you're trying to sell in order to note the ups and downs. Because if you try to sell a good product which could be a potential winner in the down season, then it is going to be very difficult to have that product sell. In fact, a lot of people revive old winning products just by selling that same exact product when the time is right, meaning when the trend is going upwards for the niche that the product is in. And yes, a lot of these products will have clear ups and downs which you can directly track on Google Trends. For this video, we're going to be trying to basically do this step-by-step process for these 3 different products right here. We're gonna, for example, pretend we're trying to sell a remote control truck, which is a toy for kids. Next thing, we're gonna try to find interest for an umbrella because it is such a common product. I want to show you guys that it is definitely possible to do it for common products as well. The third product is the most common of all. It's simply a chair. Following step number 1, we're going to basically try to find the main keyword for this product. In this case, it could simply be remote control toy or RC toy or just even RC truck. What we want to do is we want to go over to Google Trends and search that up, which I've already done. When you come onto Google Trends, you want to change the past 12 months all the way up to the past 5 years, because we want this trend to be clearly visible over a period of time. As we can see, this trend starts to go up late October for the keyword RC truck, and it is at peak season during the December months, which is very common, simply because this is a toy and a lot of people like giving gifts during the holiday season. The best thing about this, however, is that this trend is the same in each year. So late October is when this trend starts to pick up, and then after December is when this trend starts to go down. This is why it's so important to be looking at Google Trends, because if you had found this product in February and March, there's a very low chance that you'll get a lot of sales for this product. You may end up not even breaking even or going a slight loss trying to sell this product. But if you found this product late September or late October, that's when it's a perfect time to be testing a product like this. And we're going to be doing the same thing for the other 2 products that we're pretending to sell. So the next one is umbrellas. What you want to do is, again, copy the main keyword, go onto the Google trend, and simply paste it in to see the overall trend over the past 5 years. As we can see, it is somewhat more consistent. It does have a slight upward season during the March, April, May months, and then it starts to go down during August, September, and October. There was a clear peak over here, as we can see, during the February time period of 2019, and also right now in July and August. But these 2 peaks are not something you really want to consider, because these 2 peaks only happened twice over the past 5 years. We want to consider the entire data and the entire year as the data point instead of looking at just a few specific time periods in order to make our decision. So here, it clearly looks like this product is a product which could sell well during the February, March, and April season. And then after August, it starts to kind of die down, which is the same case here, because we can see that the trend is going downwards when I'm recording this video, which is in late August. So in my opinion, this would be a product I would maybe stay off from selling during this time period simply by looking at the trends. However, for this example, we're going to continue to pretend that it's a good trend and we can sell it. Let's move on to the third product, which is a chair. We want to again keep the main keyword in mind and then simply paste it in to see what other trends we can find related to this. So the keyword trend has somewhat of a consistent up and down period. As we can see, if we go all the way back, it went all the way up from January all the way up to July and August, and then it kind of went down until October, which is when it peaked back up. And this trend seems a little bit similar each given year. As we can see, in February, March, and April, it goes up, and then in June, July, August, it starts to go down until October and November. So again, holiday season is when people start buying more chairs. This is a great thing for us simply because that means as we get closer to the holiday season, we can probably find more chairs to sell on Facebook. And as we can see in the recent months, starting late March and early April, it has been all the way up and it has stayed consistently up, which is a great sign, which means right now it may be the right time to be selling a product like this. But once you have kind of done step one and figured out whether it's the right time to sell this product or not, let's move on to step two, and that is start research by typing in the most closely related keyword to the product. And this is directly done on your Facebook ads account. So for this, we're going to go on to the sample Facebook ads account and we're going to do just what that step says. For the first example, RC truck, we want to start off by typing in something that's very, very broad, but also related to that product we're trying to sell. So we can try typing in RC truck. So let's do just that, RC truck. And as we see, nothing is coming up. That's simply because we may have gone too specific on this product. What we want to do is we want to back up and maybe just type in remote control. And then from there, we can go and type in maybe remote control toy or remote control vehicle, as that came up right here. So as you can see, remote control vehicle has come up. But of course, this is not enough because this only has a size of 38,000. We want much, much more. However, this is what the next step will include. Before we go into the next step, let's go and do the same thing for the other two products. So the next product is an umbrella. So what you want to do is you want to simply type in umbrella. And from here, we can see that the main keyword did come up, and this has a 20 million audience size, which is a great audience size to have, by the way. In 2020 and onwards, I recommend an audience size of 2 million or more. Let's do the same thing for the third product, which is chair. What we're basically trying to do here is we're trying to identify whether there's any types of interest or demand on Facebook for our products. As we can see, chair did come up with the audience size of 147 million, way too broad. We're going to be going into the next steps, which will make it very, very specific for us. So let's do just that. For step three, here's what you want to do. You want to use the suggestions button to start noting down similar interests to the original, which are the most closely related to the original one. So for example, going back to the remote control product, we want to, of course, type in remote control again. And from here, what we want to do is basically choose that second keyword which came up, which was remote control vehicle. Once you choose that, here's what you want to do. You want to click the suggestions button. And as you can see now, we're starting to see much more similar interest to the original one we typed. Facebook has a very interesting way of displaying these interests, meaning the ones at the top are those that are most similar to what you already typed in. Those at the bottom are the least similar. What you want to do is you want to go one by one down the list and note down every keyword which is most related to your product. Radio controlled car. If you're selling any type of radio controlled car, it could be a truck, but this keyword could still directly relate to that because it's still radio controlled. In that case, you would note this down. Remote control is, of course, something too broad, which is not what we're selling. We're selling the RC truck. In that case, we would skip that, move on to the next one. Radio controlled aircraft, not something we're really trying to sell, so we again move on. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to get an idea of which interests are most related to our product, and this can be also broad as well. It doesn't have to be too specific like this one, radio controlled car. In fact, I would definitely think about ranking for the keyword hot toys because it is in a general niche compared to what I want to sell, because my product does land under the niche toy. In addition, I would maybe look into toys as a whole to target because it is very, very broad. But in addition, it does kind of relate to what I'm trying to sell. So again, keep a note of which interests are coming up, which are most closely related to you, and continue this process for all of the keywords which come up. Of course, at the end, you'll see that these are the least related. So in that case, you don't really want to be looking into them. What you want to do, however, if you do type something in and nothing is coming up, is go even broader. For example, if I just found a few interests, including the interest toys, instead of typing in remote control vehicle, here's what I would do. I would change this to the keyword toys. From here, I can just choose toys and click suggestions to then go further into the interest and find more interests which may be related. For example, if my toy is an educational toy, I may consider ranking for that. And I may go further into other types of interests, such as Toys R Us interest, which I'll go more in depth into. But you want to keep on doing this until you have a list of 5 to 15 interests, because you'll be then able to create 5 to 15 different interests. You want to do this for all of the products which you want to sell. In this case, we want to go on to the next product, and the next product is, of course, umbrella. So you would do the same thing. You would type in umbrella. Once you type it in, click the suggestions button to then find more interest related to that. Of course, this is very, very broad, so you will have to go broad. Maybe you want to do the interest of wet season, raincoat as well. And even though you're not selling a raincoat, it'll be very clear to you why you want to sell a raincoat very, very soon, because I'll be going over in depth into that. You can also do weather or climate and kind of go on from there into these other interests. Of course, when it's a broad product, it becomes a little bit more difficult for you to target. but that's why you want to also keep your interest broad. And this brings me to my third product, which is chair. Simply type in the keyword chair, and here if you're selling any type of specific chair, maybe a massage chair or a folding chair or a red, black, white, etc. chair, anything that has any type of supporting keyword to relate to that chair, go ahead and type that in. But since we're pretending to sell a basic chair, we'll just type in chair. From there, click suggestions. Maybe you want to target furniture, interior design, living room, modern furniture, etc. As you can see, very, very broad, but we really don't have a choice here because the product itself is also broad. And this is also one of the reasons why you may want to be finding very, very specific products instead of just going broad, because the more specific you are, the easier it is to target on Facebook ads. But this brings me to step number 4, and this is the most important step in my opinion, because now, once you've started to use the suggestions tab, you may feel that you are a little bit stuck. Here's where you want to use Facebook or Google to research the following interests or pages which are the most closely related to the product. You can find pages related to specific magazines or celebrities or community pages. You can also target retail stores that mostly sell your product, or you can just target similar products as well to kind of keep the interest going and to be able to target products which are closely resembling your current product. So what I mean by this is, for example, if I'm trying to sell the product RC truck, I would go on Facebook and I would try to find magazines related to toys. You can just also go on Google as well and type in keywords which are related to your product. For example, I would type in toy magazines or famous celebrity parents, because maybe I can find famous celebrity parents which other parents also follow. And if parents follow these celebrities, then they may also want to buy toys for their kids. And you can use any of these other lists I've mentioned here, such as community pages. This is mostly for Facebook, where you can just go on Facebook and type in something like I love my kids, or I love my child, or I love my children, and you'll be able to find a bunch of different community pages related to that. You can also find retail stores. In this case, we found Toys R Us. So if we type in Toys R Us and use one of the earlier steps which I mentioned, which is to use the suggestions button, we'll be able to see that we can find many more interests related to that main interest. So if we again click suggestions, we can then see there's the interest Lego, Fisher Price, Hasbro, toys, educational toy, etc. So this gives you a wide variety of different interests that you can target, which are most closely related to this main store right here. And of course, you can continue doing the research process on both Facebook as Google as well. This is the same thing with similar products. That's why I told you for the umbrella, you can go ahead and target the keyword raincoat, because raincoat is also used in the rainy season. And if somebody is interested in the keyword wet raincoat, they may most likely be also interested in umbrella as well, because those two things can somewhat go hand in hand. And it's the same thing for chair. If you type in chair and go from there, basically looking at any types of other keywords which are coming up. So for instance, you type in chair, you can then maybe choose office chair, or you can go with furniture. And if you type in furniture, make sure to erase the other interests so that you can use suggestions to then maybe target IKEA, because that's a furniture based store, and then go from there. This is exactly what I do when I'm trying to find interest for these products. There's nothing really too different that I'm doing when I'm trying to find these interests. But this brings me to the next step, which is mix and match your interest ad sets along with demographics and or no interest targeting. Because let's face it, not every interest you find is going to be a winning interest. Sometimes you'll be barely able to find 2 or 3 interests for a product. In that case, what you want to do is you want to simply erase the interest in total, click browse and click on demographics. This is what I've noticed also works really, really well. Within the browse section, you have different things that you can target. You can target demographics. This is where you can target specific life events like anniversaries, birthdays, or relationship statuses. You can also go to the next section, which is just the interest. I don't normally do this, but you can also target maybe anything specific you want to target here. And the third and most common one that I also use is behaviors. Maybe you want to target specific mobile device users, purchase behavior, or simply those people traveling or have recently come back from traveling. So this all will depend on what kind of product you want to sell, but you are not limited to just the interest. You can of course use the browse section. This is something I also recommend. In addition, you can simply leave this blank. This is something a lot of people don't really think about doing, and they're scared of doing this as well. I personally have tried this many times and I've found a lot of success, because believe it or not, Facebook is a very smart advertising platform. It knows exactly where to go out to find a given audience based on your product. So you want to just give Facebook a little bit more trust and just give it a chance. It may perform much better than any of your other interests. This is what I found a lot of the times in my case. But this brings me to step number 6, and which is simply monitor and change your ad sets based on the results you have gotten. Because if you follow all of these steps correctly, you should easily have 5 to 15 different ad sets. The next step is just to let them run. then monitor them and change them based on the results you're getting. Of course, if you don't get any results by $5 spend or $10 spend, and I'm talking about the link clicks or add to cart, etc., you want to kind of just stop those ad sets. If you want more details on what kind of results to even be looking at, I've made a whole video on this on my channel, which you can check out. I'll leave the link in the description below. But this is the basic step-by-step process I take when finding winning interest. Nothing too crazy, just very straightforward. If you found any type of value in this video, smash that like button and smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.